The glass hit me before the room picked a side cold tea, and a thick rim popping above my eyebrow iron on my tongue, while the ceiling fan clicked like a metronome for everybody's guilt. My name is Tess Carter. I run the Bluebird Griddle in Summit Falls. And in that second, folks learned I wasn't just the woman in the apron, I was the owner who decides what flies and what doesn't. I didn't wake up to be a headline, I woke up to make pancakes, but a boy at booth 3 mocked a little girl's voice, Lila, 5 hearing aid, catching the light, and his mother, Monica Pratt, laughed like the room needed her permission to be cruel, so I set down the coffee pot and said it plain, "Hey, not here." She called me out of line, grabbed her glass, and threw it. And when it cracked against my forehead, the diner went quiet, the way people go quiet, when decency costs them something. A calm voice said, "That's enough," and heads turned, because the man by Lila's booth was Owen Hale. Yes, that Hale, not a suit in sight, just a gray polo, and the posture of a father who's done the hard parts, he said. He watched her kid mock his daughter, watched Monica condone it, watched her throw a glass at a woman, telling the truth. Then he told them to leave, bell jangling like a verdict. He asked if I needed a hospital. I said I needed a towel, and 5 minutes without opinions. Lila handed me a rocket she'd drawn. I pinned it to the corkboard like a promise to future me. And the grill kept hissing, because life never pauses the order wheel just because you're bleeding. In the corner sat Jax Rivera from a local podcast, side street's phone half tucked in his hand. He'd filmed the whole thing, and I told him I wasn't chasing attention. He said it wasn't fame he was after. It was proof, because if you don't show people, they'll swear it didn't happen the way it did. I asked for final cut. He said yes. The episode dropped next morning, the Bluebird filled with a charge. Strangers nodded, a retired bus driver left donuts. Church ladies slid an envelope that said, "We see you." Then the other part arrived. 2 men with clipboards flashed city badges I'd never seen in 11 years of paying taxes, random inspection permits, and payroll. Random is a funny word when it only visits after you stand up. I let them look. They left hungry and unhappy. That afternoon, an envelope slid under the door. No return address, a printout of me and my mama with our old apartment circled in red and 7 words. "You should have stayed in the kitchen." My hands shook the way hands do when fight and protect. Both say yes. I showed Owen. He said, "You're not going home tonight. Take the spare room." Detective Rowan stopped in 2 days later. Said the glass wasn't an accident. Charges were filed. Monica's lawyer offered a settlement. I said no, I wanted a record in court. Jax played the video. Rowan walked the jury through the threat. My lawyer asked me to tell them what I tell my staff. Bluebird policy is dignity or the check. The defense called me emotional. I asked if they'd asked Monica that. When she threw glass at my face, the jury came back guilty on assault and a civil award that felt like air after weeks underwater. You'd think that was the end. Yeah, that happened. But harassment loves new costumes. A crisp shirt with a clipboard asked for employee files without a warrant. I offered pie or the door. He chose the door that night. Another letter arrived, new font, same threat delivered by a teenage boy, $50 to drop it, he whispered. I fed him waffles and recorded a voice memo where he told the truth, not for revenge, for daylight. Then the officials returned with a warrant, 3 of them, anonymous tips, financial misconduct, unreported income. They said I told them they could search, but they'd do it where everyone could see, so we kept serving while they opened drawers and photographed register tape. Jax rolled in with his camera. Someone started a slow, stubborn clap, not theater resolve. The officials left empty-handed, but fully seen. The twist came from City Hall. The mayor wanted to meet. I said fine at my tables. He tried spin. I stared until he said it straight. "We mishandled this. The city owes you. I owe you," I told him. I didn't want a parade. I wanted a seed fund for a shared kitchen and mentorship space so women could build, without asking permission from men with clipboards. He said yes, we started that week. We called it Hearth and Harbor. We built with borrowed tools and too many volunteers. Reggie, who'd washed dishes years back then, disappeared to a bad decision, came asking for a shot. I gave him an apron. Because we all visit dumb places, what matters is whether you unpack. And on opening day, a mural went up with 3 words down the apron: Feed, Teach, Fight. While we hammered, the city attorney stood at a podium and said no wrongdoing at the diner. Regret for the disruption, the kind of apology that lands like a receipt, but still truth on record changes the weather. Monica came once, not to perform, just to ask how to tell the truth at her son's school bias. And consequence, I told her to say my name, say Lila's, say through, say blood, say courage without polishing it. Then teach her boy not to become who she was that day. She nodded and left. These days, the bluebird still burns the first pancake while we find our heat inspectors sometimes eat before they pretend not to. People argue in my comments. Some still send letters. The difference is I don't open them alone. I open them at a table with community and a plan. Hearth and Harbor runs workshops that keep lights on and values visible. One evening, a storm rolled off the ridge and knocked the power phones, lit the room like fireflies. Someone started singing off key. Owen came in with Lila and a school collage that said, "My hero, Tess." I told her heroes are people who find the off switch on the fryer when everything else is spinning. She laughed, and for once I let myself breathe. So here's my ask, and it's simple. Where do you stand on nights like that, when a joke isn't a joke, and rules get used like weapons, and a woman bleeds, then still has to prove she's not the problem? Have you seen it? Have you lived it? You know what I mean? Drop your story, push back. If you need to tell me where you're watching from, and if you believe courage should be contagious, tap like, share this, pull up a chair, coffee's on, the bluebird is open, and we're keeping the light on together.